What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another movie review. Today we are watching 2014's The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1. Whew, this Hunger Games series I really kind of enjoy. I think I liked the first two movies a lot more. The Mockingjay Part 1 and Part 2 are just kind of really bleak. You know, it's one of those things where you're watching it and you're going, man, I really don't know if I like this or not, you know, and you still want to see what happens to Katniss and Peeta, right? So even if it's bleak, it's still one of those things where you're watching it to continue to see what happens to the characters. But man, I wish it was just a little bit more cheery, you know what I mean? Like, and granted, it shouldn't be. It's about, you know, murders, and there's the government's making them murder each other for a game, right? Like, it's supposed to be a sick thing, so it's supposed to be bleak and dark and whatnot, but I don't know. This movie's just wild because, you know, Katniss is still Katniss, so she still gets the, you know, the symbol and walking around, and she still means a lot of things to people, but she's reluctant to be the Mockingjay, and they want her to be this symbol for this rebellion. She finally, like, leans into it a little bit, but she really leans into it because they have Peeta still from the end of the last movie, and she just wants Peeta to get Peeta back. And you know, at least in this movie, I thought it was nicer that we got to see more of Katniss and Liam Hemsworth's character together, right? Because from the first, you know, movie, I thought they were going to be the real love story, and then it's her and Peeta, but then there's kind of a background love story with these two, and she's kind of in the love triangle where she loves him from her homeland, but she also loves Peeta from their experience through the games, and also him being from District 12 too. Patina Miller in the background there, she's like the leader of, like, the rebellion, and she's like, you know, their figure that they've been following, and they're like general, if you would, and she plays Raquel Thomas on Power Book 3 Raising Kanan. She's fucking awesome. She's such a good actress. We can also see on the far right over her left shoulder is a bearded ponytail wearing man. That is Foggy Nelson, Aldrich Henderson. He plays Foggy Nelson in Daredevil. He's also going to be coming back in Daredevil Born Again. So I just thought it was cool that we got to see him. And also Mahershala Ali, Blade, back there. He's like the general for Katniss's, like, troops that she's supposed to be, like, following him, but she ends up kind of leading it. But I love that they have Foggy Nelson over there. And I'm sorry if I'm calling him Foggy Nelson. That's not the actor's real name, but that's how I know him, as Foggy from Daredevil. And he's, like, not deaf in real life, but he's like a mute in this movie, and he, like, just has, so he's in, I believe, at least these Part 1 and Part 2, so he's in 2 of the Hunger Games movies, and I don't think he has a single, like, line, you know what I mean? Like, so he's just there, you know, doing a lot of pointing, a lot of sign language, you know, stuff like that, like, but never really has, like, words to say, and he definitely can speak. So this poor guy, I'm like, man, what a role to get cast in. I mean, it must have been easy, just kind of, hey, suit up like this and just point like this, and you go, but don't say anything. You know, it's like, okay, how can you mess that up, really? You know, like, your acting needs to be better without saying anything. It's like, well, okay. But they still have to take down Snow, but Snow and his people in the Capitol have been torturing poor Peeta, and you can see just by, like, he's in the suit, but you can see that they're torturing him. Like, the man's strung out, he's got the bags under his eyes, oh, he looks terrible. And then finally they get him out, and he just is so beat up and strung out and, like, just been tortured so much, and they've been brainwashing him to make his memories, and he doesn't know what's real and what's not. And finally we get him back, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so happy Peeta and Katniss are finally back together. And this Part 1 ends with Peeta fucking choking out Katniss, right? Like, just attacks her and chokes her out and tries to kill her, right? So this brainwashing they did really worked, and now he's, like, almost killing Katniss. Like, this is crazy. I mean, it was good enough to make me be like, okay, I gotta know what happens in the next movie. But just like I said at the beginning of this video, very, very bleak movie, not all that, like, fun. You know, you don't see me having a jolly good time watching these movies, which is kind of like how I want to feel when I watch movies most of the time. But hey, every now and again, you just want to see these characters' stories explored more and more. I still think I like the first one the best, second one the second best. This third movie, Mockingjay Part 1, I gave 3 out of 5 stars, about a 6 out of 10. leave your score down in the comment section below. What do you think of this movie? I'd love to hear that from the comment section below. But you know, it's about a 3 out of 5. You know, it's 6 out of 10, and I just really wish that Peeta and her got to live somewhat happier ever after type of story, instead of just like having this hardship constantly. But hey, what are you gonna do? President Snow is a douchebag, you know, so that type of stuff. Very sad stuff. But stay tuned. We'll be watching Mockingjay Part 2 real soon. It's a movie review coming on the channel ASAP, and we'll be talking about that then. So stay tuned, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.